I do not want to comment now on what was said consciously during the election campaign. I think it was said deliberately in the fight for votes. But it does not matter. What was said in the desire to restore relations with Russia to help end the Ukrainian crisis, in my opinion, seems to deserve at least attention. I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate him on his election as President of the United States of America.
Ollie, what are you hearing then? We heard then from the Russian president, and what are you hearing in terms of voices on the ground in Europe at this event, at this meeting in Hungary, about how willing they are to engage with Putin to try to get some kind of deal, or is Zelensky pushing back against that prospect?
So, of course, Zelensky is pushing back against that prospect and pushing back hard. When he arrived at the arrivals yesterday, we were all sort of shouting to try to get a comment from him. He walked directly in. But every European leader, for the most part, has been saying that basically, regardless of what the United States does, Europe needs to continue to support Ukraine. There are, of course, some voices that don't see things quite that way. I spoke to Viktor Orban's chief political advisor yesterday about this very question. Here's what he had to say about how the sort of stance in Europe may need to change as a result of the Trump presidency. Have a listen.
I think so. As soon as we can, all communication channels should be restored, because otherwise, how we want to manage the peace? If we are not communicating with each other, we're just only managing a war.
And more broadly, you know, Viktor Orban and his team have been very sort of involved with Trump in the lead up to this election. They've even been in the United States a number of times. There are reports that they were sort of working on policy proposals together. And for the Hungarians, they're really hoping that, A, this will change sort of their position within Europe, but also will force Europe to move and to change on a number of different things in what this advisor was calling, you know, sort of liberal woke ideology. And that is exactly the sort of thing that we're going to be hearing more and more from a perhaps more emboldened Hungary as time goes on with this Trump presidency.